It's time now to get a check of the weather and see where we find Stevie today. Good morning, Stevie. Where are you?
Good morning to you, Lisa. Waking up in a nice frosty Melbourne this morning, and we're checking out a new extreme sport called parkour. It's more than a sport, actually. It's all about movement, philosophy, acrobatics, and you've seen it in probably the opening of James Bond. Lots of movies and video clips. We're down here in Melbourne this morning. We're going to check it out right throughout the morning. But first, let's get into your weather, starting off the day. All right, hit it, boys. We are checking out parkour this morning. We're at Fed Square in Melbourne. Now, parkour, it's all about obstacles. It's all about movement. These guys are super fit. It's all about wall running, spinning, rolling, vaulting, you name it, they do it. And we'll be checking out this new action sport right throughout the morning. Think the opening titles of James Bond, think the Madonna video, and you've pretty much got an idea of what parkour's all about. Good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Carl. What an exciting and energetic way to wake up on this Tuesday morning.
Gee, they do look fit, don't they?
Don't they? I want to see Stevie doing that a bit later. That'll be fun. Looks quite tall, that little horse there.
It does a bit.
Thanks, Lisa. Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. We're in Melbourne this morning checking out parkour. Now, this is the coolest sport to hit the streets, developed in France, and these guys are getting up, getting active, and we're going to check it out right throughout the morning. But first, let's fly around the country and check out your... All right, guys, check this out. This is called parkour. It's kind of like an extreme gymnastics that hits the street, developed in France. Now, they started off in the forests and in the trees where it's a little bit more organic. It's also been developed into man-made symmetrical structures in the city, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty intense, and it is very, very, very gymnastic. These guys are unbelievable. We've got to check out parkour right throughout the morning here at Federation Square in Melbourne.
Interesting stuff, Stevie. Thank you for that.
Good core strength there.
Yeah.
Guys should try it for the next Spider-Man movie.
Should add some of that sometimes.
But right now it's time to get a check of today's weather with Steve Jacobs. Morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Lisa, at Fed Square this morning with the Australian Parkour Association. That is French for journey, and these guys are incredible. It's an incredibly physical sport. Now, developed in France, it's really taking off right around the world at the moment in a lot of movies, in a lot of TV commercials, and these guys are mostly stuntmen, and they do this, look at this, do this in their spare time. Now, that's what you call an arm jump. Anyone that just launches themselves and grabs on is called an arm jump. All sorts of moves, and that's a drop and roll. Okay, we're going to check out more right throughout the morning, but first, let's get into the weather. This is right, boys, we are checking out parkour this morning. Now, parkour, a little bit like yoga, is all about the philosophy of the moves, and this is just what they call the physical manifestation of it. But I tell you what, it is pretty physical and pretty incredible, and these guys are waking up nice and early. It's a chilly morning here in Melbourne, and this is not something you can just do at any time. This takes years of training, just getting the basics and the fundamentals so you don't do any damage to yourself. We'll be checking out more of the Australian Parkour Association right throughout this morning, live on the Today Show, Federation Square in Melbourne. Good morning.
Thanks a lot, Stevie.
Well, let's check the weather now with Stevie Jacobs. Hey, Stevie.
Good morning to you, Carlos, mate. We are checking out parkour this morning, which is a really cool urban form of gymnastics. If you haven't seen it before, then check out Casino Royale. The opening sequence features some pretty radical parkour. We'll check out a bit more right throughout the morning, but first, let's have a look at your weather. All right, the boys from parkour doing a few moves for us this morning, but it's not just a set of moves and tricks. They've got some basic techniques which they use regularly, and they're adapted to suit any particular environment, from the forest right through to urban areas like the street here. It is cool, and it is very physical. And what else is cool is the fact that we have a heap of tickets to give away to the Australia versus Japan International Tomorrow night at the MCG. So come on down and grab them. Just look for the action. Parkour, it's all happening down here at Federation Square in Melbourne. We'll see you in the next half hour, Carl and Lisa.
Sweet stuff, Stevie.
Good morning to you, Lisa. Imagine being able to jump tall buildings in a single bound. You don't have to be Superman. You just have to practice parkour. Now, this is an amazing, aggressive sport. It's done in the forests. Whoa! In France, that's where it was developed. It's also come into urban street parkour. It's a very, very cool sort of sport. Very big at the moment in movies and video clips, and you can check it out all over YouTube. It is very aggressive, pretty cool. All right, let's get into the weather. We'll show you a little bit more after we find out what's happening at your place today. All right, we are down at Federation Square this morning, checking out the Australian Parkour Association. Now, this is not something that you can just try at home. These guys are mostly stuntmen, and they do this in their spare time. And it takes years of training just to perfect the landings and the rolls. Now, if you want to come down, these guys will be doing a demo here till around about 10 o'clock this morning, and you can also ask them about a few lessons. They'll teach you how to jump off a building and do it safely. Now, we've also got a whole heap of tickets left for the Australia versus Japan game tomorrow night at the MCG. So come on down, listen for the action and the sound, the noise, the movement, and we've got some free tickets to give away, Carlos.